Super Smash Bros for Wii U has recently released. About right now, we're sitting at about a month ago or so. I don't know. I forget the day. But anyway, yeah. So Smash Bros has come out. We've gotten a lot of good time with the game itself. So I just kind of wanted to do a post review. Now this will be kind of different than other reviews you see online because I'm not going to be like talking about all the junk you don't want to hear and go over the same stuff that every other review has said. I'm more so looking into what the game does right, what it doesn't do quite as well as some past entries, some things I'm kind of missing, some character breakdowns, just my opinions on how the new characters are working and how the old characters have been improved, and things of that nature. At first, everybody says the Wii U game is really gorgeous, and it is. I'm not going to beat a dead horse and tell you guys how awesome this game is, or how great it looks, or how good the music is, because you all know it's just top notch. So what I am going to talk about is how the Wii U version kind of differs from the past iterations. More so, the core gameplay is probably the best it's ever been. For the most part, you can choose any character and at least net a few KOs and quite possibly win. I'm a big For Glory guy, and I like 4-player For Glory. I like the 1v1s, all kinds of things like that. But definitely any character can probably net a win. Now, having said that, I do think there's a few imbalanced characters. I think Little Mac is undoubtedly really overpowered. You can always say, oh, well, you got to get him up in the air, you got to throw him off to the sides, but that's incredibly hard to do if you're playing For Glory, because he excels on that kind of final destination ground. There's no platform, so he essentially is always on the ground. And if you throw him off to the side, I don't care what anyone says, his side haymaker or whatever you call it, that's got a pretty good distance. He can get back from quite a ways. His up B sucks, but that's just as a recovery move. It sucks, of course. It's not bad when you're on the ground and trying to pummel someone. But yeah, he's just really strong, and they even buffed his KO punch recently, which is really confusing to me. I thought it was strong before, but I guess now it's even more monstrous. I think he needs a little more lag maybe in his moves or something to make him, not quite as powering. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, Donkey Kong, dude, he's like a huge gorilla. And for some reason, he's really slow to attack. And then even his fully charged, punch. That mega punch thing he does, it's not as strong or something. I don't get it. I cannot get a KO with that to save my life. It'll work sometimes if they're at high percent, but yeah, really weird. You think he would be stronger than he is, or faster or something. And even his recovery sucks. He's freaking Donkey Kong. He can swing from trees and crap. Why can he not recover worth a damn? I don't get it, man. Now, as far as Bowser goes, Bowser's strong. He's hard to KO for sure, but I'm okay with that. I still think I can get around Bowser. I can KO him pretty okay. He can net a few KOs on you, so you have to be careful, but he's also a really big target, so I'm not going to complain too much about Bowser. He's strong. He's better than he's ever been in any other game, which is great because no one ever played him competitively in the last few games. So it's really good to kind of see. Now, having said that, let me think. DDD got a nice little buff. He's actually incredibly good this game. He's got some really heavy hits, which is phenomenal. Let me see. Who else needs a... Oh, Wii Fit Trainer needs a buff. She got some cool... I always use the male iteration of, or version of Wii Fit Trainer. So if I accidentally say he, I apologize. Yeah, but Wii Fit Trainer, some really cool kind of aspects. Like, I like the fact that they do a healing if you fully charge things, but you have to charge up that one move to even become competitive. And I mean, he or she doesn't really have much range. That like forward smash does like nothing. I mean, it's just you have to be really close. I think it's a really cool character, and it's got some nice aspects, but I do think in the grand scheme of things, that character needs a little bit of a buff, or maybe there's something, I'm not seeing. I don't want to say one way or the other. My main is actually Mega Man. I play a lot of. I've got a good friend. We play a Mega Man versus Little Mac match. I know what you guys are thinking already. You're like, oh, this is why this guy hates Little Mac. And I don't hate Little Mac. I just think he needs to be toned down a bit. But Mega Man is actually, he comes off as a really complicated character. At first, you're going to be cursing. You're going to be mad. You're like, man, Mega Man sucks. He needs a buff. But actually, when you get a hold of him, I've actually gotten quite good with him. So, I mean, I win a whole lot of 4-player 4 glories with Mega Man. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty competitive with him 1v1 as well. I mean, he might not be the greatest choice for every matchup, but yeah, he's not too bad. He's a pretty cool newcomer, and I do think they can maybe make a few slight tweaks to make him a tad bit more competitive. Even his leaf shield is, which I've learned how to use it a little more effectively now, but given that, even when using it effectively, it's still not a great move. The fact that it does limit all your other moves as well kind of hinders you, but here's a tip. And I don't know I'm giving this because I don't want you guys to be good with them, because then I'm going to be getting trashed online, even more so than I am. But if you do a short hop and pull up your leaf shield while you're in midair, it'll reduce the lag as if you were doing it on the ground. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, Mega Man's a good character. He's one of my favorites. I mean, I'm a huge Mega Man fan as is. So, and I don't really care about tiers as much, things of that nature. I just want to play with the characters I like to play as and the characters I like. Let's see, who else? I'm just kind of rambling here and going from character to character. They really improved Ganondorf this time around. I mean, he was really slow. I think he was like the worst tiered character in Brawl, and people were just like, oh, he's garbage. Oh, we can't play him competitively. Now he's a powerhouse. He's still incredibly slow. Don't get me wrong. He is a tank, though. He will smack you across the stage with a standard attack, a standard smash. Like, he is so strong. He can knock out some KOs. I mean, really great. Sonic also got a buff this time around. He is the fastest character in the game by far, which is great. They even gave him a few KO moves. If I have any issues with Sonic, it's because I really liked his down smash before. You know, the one where he kind of pulls that circular motion in his ball form. Well, now he does this very limited split kick or whatever, which it's, still a good KO move, but doesn't quite give him the range the old one did. I understand why they did it. They don't want to give him too many spin moves. And I mean, he rolls up into his ball form for every damn move he does. But, I kind of like the other one. Also, the biggest nerf to Sonic is his voice actor. Like, I know it's going to sound like a stupid complaint, and a lot of people didn't like his voice in Brawl, and they didn't like the "you're too slow" and all this junk. But I did. I thought it was really cool. Like, I loved, like, smacking Mario across the stage and then pulling out the "you're too slow" as soon as he flew off. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't like his new corny one-liners. He's like, Sonic speed! Sonic speed! I'm like, okay. What a taunt, Sonic. Thank you. Supersonic time. Thank you. I liked how he said, now I'll show you, and then, like, slipped into his supersonic form, man. That was cool. Now it's just like, he's a little more corny. I think they were trying to make him less annoying, but it worked the opposite way for me because now he feels more annoying. But he's really cool in the game. I like him a lot. Another newcomer, Pac-Man. Dude, Pac-Man, he is a weird fighter because a lot of his moves use items. Now, that being said, he's actually pretty strong. He's got a charge up like toss thing. I know you guys have seen that where he pulls out random fruits and Namco characters and things like that. But that's pretty cool. His hydrant move is a little more challenging to use. More so for me because I end up screwing myself on that one. I like to drop that thing on top of people, and I often do it near the edge, which makes things hard because it pushes me off. And I'm not too good with him quite yet, but that's okay. He's really strong, though. I'll give him that. What else was it about? Oh, yes, Pac-Man. He's got that really hard recovery move. Now, what I mean with that is it's really good, as in he can get really high up vertically. It's also really bad in the sense that you have got to hit that damn bouncy jumpy thing. And I have many times screwed up as Pac-Man because I straight up missed that pad or trampoline or whatever the heck that Namco is calling it. Yeah, it's a little rough, but overall Pac-Man's pretty cool. I've got a few good wins on him, and I mean overall he's a really cool character. I know a lot of people were not digging the whole Pac-Man and Smash thing, but I'm actually glad he's in. He's an icon, and he's really cool. His moveset is probably better than anybody ever imagined it would be. Let's see, whatever newcomers. Trying to think of Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings. That's cool in itself because you can play as any one of the Koopa kids. Now, that being said, facing against Bowser Jr. or anybody else, I'll just call him Ludwig or Morton, because those are cooler than Bowser Jr. But that can be a really annoying character to face. Reason being, and what really irritated me, and not so much in the Wii U version because I don't see too many people playing as him, but the 3DS version before Wii U, a lot of people would use that up B, the up recovery move, and that clown car would explode, and it's just something I've never seen before, so I really had to relearn it. Now, that's not the game's fault that I didn't know how to appropriately get around that. That's my fault for being in a certain mindset. But yeah, he can shoot some cannonballs, Mecha Koopas. Yeah, he's got a pretty diverse moveset. He's actually one of the cooler characters. But I don't main him. I don't really play as him too much. But facing him online can be something else, man. It's just crazy. Other characters that got buffs, it feels like Luigi's a lot better this game. He's not quite as garbage as he was before, which I personally can't use him, but I have faced off against many a good Luigi online. So, yeah. Peach, still pretty good. She's Peach. I mean, she's always been one of the better characters, which is ironic because she gets kidnapped every game. So she learns how to defend herself in Smash Brothers. Yeah. But Rosalina is actually one of the more often used characters online, I believe. I honestly haven't seen her too much, but apparently a lot of people have, and apparently she's just really hard to get around or something. I don't get it, but I've never really had a problem with Rosalina. I don't really play as her, so I can't give too much insight into how she works. I do know she splits up with Luma, and Luma has some pretty nice attacks as well. I think she gets nerfed pretty bad whenever Luma is gone, but I'll be honest, the few times I tried to play as her, I wasn't too good because I couldn't master the whole having a side character thing. I mean, when I did actually get her down a little bit, I was doing some nice damage and really sending people flying, but I don't know, even with that, I just don't have interest in the character. she's a cool character in general. She's just not, it doesn't really fit my play style. So I don't really play as her too much, so I apologize to the Rosalina fans. I haven't really played as Diddy too much as well. I didn't really care for him in Brawl, even though I know a lot of people did. I guess he's pretty good. I'm going to go off of that. Let's move on. Who else am I missing here? I don't know if I said Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff's got back to melee greatness because not only does her down B rest, not only does it go back to being really strong, but it also plants a flower on top of whomever's head and starts building up damage. So that's actually really cool. The sleep move even seems a little better this go around because it'll actually put people to sleep for a while, and it's got a little bit of an extended range, it feels like. So, I mean, Jigglypuff's actually not too bad. Charizard got a nice buff, but my problem with Charizard is this. A lot of people will spam that side B move. It gets annoying because, you know, it is a really strong move, and it only does 4% damage to Charizard when he pulls it off. It's also really fast, really strong. It's really hard to avoid, honestly, unless I did successfully use Mario's cape and send a Charizard flying one time, which was great. But it is really, you'll see that a lot online. A lot of Charizard side Bs. Other than that, Charizard got a nice little buff. My only problem with Charizard is, you know, he's supposed to be strong, yeah, and he's strong like a lot of the other heavy characters, but like, why is Charizard heavy? Why is Charizard's recovery so bad? We're talking about a flying type Pokemon here, and he only has like 2 or 3 really weak jumps or something, and then that up B is like horrible. So, well, I mean, and not horrible. Let me stop before I get flamed. It's not horrible. It's just very vertical. Like it's great if you're close to the stage and kind of far off, but I guess that's where that side B comes in. That's actually a good recovery as well. I just wonder, the character himself just makes me wonder, like, why they decided to kind of approach it this way. I guess it's more so for gameplay, but, you know, Sakurai has said, you know, he doesn't want to add Ridley to the game and stuff because it would kind of mess with how the character actually works in his games, but Charizard's kind of the same way. This is a flying type Pokemon, and there's not really an emphasis on flying, which is just kind of weird to me, but it's a small complaint. I mean, Charizard's a cool character. I like using him in like 4-player matches and stuff. I would never take him to a 1v1 because I think he's a little too slow. Not to say I haven't, and I've gotten a few wins with him. So yeah, just my 2 cents on that one. Lucario, I guess Lucario is good. I don't really play as Lucario too much because, you know, Mewtwo. But we're getting Mewtwo, so I'm ready for those Mewtwo versus Lucario matches, which should be awesome. Please make my Mewtwo good, please. I loved him in Melee, even though everybody else was like, oh, he's so weak. And he got canceled or taken out of Brawl, and it's like, oh, where's my Mewtwo? I'm like, yeah, we don't have Mewtwo because you fools kept playing as Fox all the time. That's why. Damn Lucario. Anyway, Dr. Mario and Dark Pit are back, or, well, you know, Dr. Mario's back. Dark Pit is essentially back from being a alternate color in Brawl. Woo! Now, I'm okay with Dr. Mario. I think he's nice fan service. He plays like he did in Melee. He's a little stronger. He's different enough from Mario that I can kind of forgive anything else. I'm okay with them being tacked in there. I mean, he's a lot of fun. Dark Pit, honestly, Dark Pit I've got a weird stance on Dark Pit. I don't hate him like everybody else does, because everybody else is like, oh, that's so stupid, blah. I don't hate him. I think he's kind of he definitely feels like a last minute tack on there. I mean, he's essentially just Pit. Now, when I first heard about Dark Pit, I was like, okay, so it'll probably play like Brawl Pit did, and that would essentially not take away from the original Pit. But he actually is a clone. I mean, he he plays virtually identical to Pit. Only difference being his Final Smash is completely different, which I actually enjoy Final Smashes. I like to play matches with and without them. But Pit's Final Smash is really cool. Now, not so much Dark Pit. Dark Pit essentially has Zelda and Sheik's Final Smash. It's like plucked directly from them. And I think that's kind of, it feels lazy. Not to say it is lazy. I don't develop games or anything like that, so I can appreciate the work that goes into them. But yeah, that's a little weird to me. I mean, he's essentially just an alternate color. I really can't vouch for him at all. There's really no reason for him to be in the game. In fact, as opposed to Dark Pit, I would have rather seen Lucas or Wolf return, because those characters, while Lucas, I guess he played really similar to Ness. I look ignorant right there. But he played really similar to Ness, but yeah, that series needs some fan service. So, I mean, I would have been quite okay with Lucas, which should have been probably pretty easy to do. Wolf as well, just because he fills the much-needed villain requirement. And from what I gather in Brawl, he was actually pretty different. I mean, he played the same. Yeah, he had another Landmaster Final Smash, but yeah, I mean, he was different enough that it felt like a different variation on those characters. And I would have rather seen some more Earthbound or Star Fox love than getting a Dark Pit, or hell, even a Dr. Mario, which, it's okay. I mean, Dr. Mario's another Mario rip. We have like 14, 15, 16 Mario rips in this game, if you include all the Koopalings. But, it's Mario. It's a huge franchise. It's just a shame that we get one Earthbound rep for every 16 Mario reps, but it's a small concern. I mean, I would hope that they're really working hard on some DLC, maybe Lucas and Wolf or something like that. Even though Sakurai said they are pretty much not. Mewtwo's all we're looking forward to, but I'm okay with the roster. I think it's really great. Now, I touched on something that I'd like to elaborate on just a little bit, was the Final Smashes. I had mentioned just a few seconds ago about Dark Pit's Final Smash, and then we kind of went into like, that whole Wolf thing. Well, that's another thing that I think is really lacking, and I'm really surprised that this was just a huge oversight. Final Smashes didn't get changed for the most part. Toon Link still has his Final Smash that's essentially Link's. Falco, who deserves a different Final Smash. In fact, I'm pretty much mad about the fact that Zero Suit got what I wanted Falco to have. The guy wouldn't get in a Landmaster. I mean, this is all speaking from characters' perspectives and stuff. I mean, I'm a huge Star Fox fan. I love Star Fox 64, which I feel is the greatest game in that series, but I don't see Falco ever getting in a Landmaster. It's just not what he does. But essentially, they didn't change it. He jumps back in a Landmaster, so maybe it's best Wolf didn't come back, because 3-man Landmasters this time around would be too much. Now, that being said, I'm not going to be too picky, but, I mean, the whole Dark Pit Final Smash thing, where he's essentially a third version of Zelda and Sheik's Light Arrow, is just kind of weak. I really think they should have gotten new Final Smashes for those characters who have, essentially just been cloned from another character's Final Smash. I don't think Sheik should have had the Light Arrow, because I don't think Sheik has ever used a Light Arrow aside from Brawl. I don't think Falco, for sure, should not have gotten a Landmaster. It's just not right. I'm okay with the Dr. Mario thing, because, I mean, what the heck else could you do for Dr. Mario aside from maybe have pills drop down from the sky or something? So, not too concerned about that one. But Final Smashes seem to be the biggest thing I have a problem with, as far as like character-wise goes, just because it seems like they really, really should have changed a few of those. That being said, all right, I think that's it for this part. I need to gather my thoughts. I've been rambling for like 20 minutes straight, but this was just part one of my analysis or review or whatever the hell these people are calling these things nowadays. But anyway, I'll be back with a few more character things coming up. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like this video, like or subscribe. I'm new to this, so any support would be great. If you don't agree with something I said, please place it in the comment section. I'll gladly debate things with you all day long. But thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time. Later.